I am finally doing my review on the Makeup Forever new Super Boost Skin Tint. I've been testing this for about 2 weeks, and we're going to see how it works on my mature, redness prone, fine lined, not so fine lined, super dry skin. Does it really hydrate like it says? It says that it is super hydrating and that it will give you a buildable coverage from sheer to medium. We're going to test it all out, and I'm going to show you some products that are new to the market and new to me. And if that sounds interesting, stick with me. We're about to get right into it. So I'm Mona, I'm 54 from South Louisiana, and I love doing product reviews. I love testing them out. I don't do first impressions, even though I know a first impression would really help my channel. First video up gets the most views, but I won't do that. I test them and test them and test them every which way that I can to try to give you all the thoughts, all the things, so that I don't change my mind and then you purchase something without having all the facts. Welcome if you're new. Thank you if you're returning. I really appreciate it. It is a beautiful day here in South Louisiana, and there is miraculously no wind. I just bought a new microphone, and it doesn't have the right attachment for my camera. So the last couple of times that I've filmed for you, it has been very windy here. I live on the water. There's nothing to break up the wind, so often it sounds like it is just howling. So hopefully this video will be quieter, and then the next video I'll have my new microphone in and it'll be even better. Let's talk about the claims for this skin tint. So it says that it's hydrating, plumping, with buildable sheer to medium coverage that leaves a radiant, healthy skin finish and a non-oily feel. It says that it gives your complexion an instant and long-lasting boost with this comfortable gel-like formula. It hydrates and smooths with the help of polyglutamic and hyaluronic acids, while grapefruit extract improves skin's quality. So it's a skincare skin tint hybrid, like so popular in all of our products now. Unique push to dispense tube offers customizable coverage with precise control. This is 1.01 fluid ounces. So on the Makeup Forever website, I count 16 shades, and they're lacking in undertones, but skin tints are more forgiving. So I have super dry skin, I have fine lines, not so fine lines, I have redness, I have rosacea, I have texture galore, I have a little bit of hyperpigmentation, and I have broken capillaries. I mean, all the things that come with aging, all those fun, exciting things, I have them. So what I'm looking for in a skin tint, a foundation product, I just wanted to even out my skin tone. I want it to look like my skin, but better. Sometimes I do want a heavier coverage, but I never want it to be cakey or heavy looking. I don't want it to settle into fine lines, but I do want it to even out my complexion. So I have my skincare on. I do like the component. It's not a luxe component, but it is very practical. You have this little accordion end, which does allow for you to get just exactly how much product you want. I've actually been comparing this to other skin tints that I own and love, as well as comparing it to the Laura Mercier Tinted Moisturizer, which is not a skin tint, but I do absolutely love this, and it's similar. And I've been trying to figure out which one I like best. So I've been comparing it to that, to the Lisa Eldridge skin tint, to the Ilia skin tint, to the Lumi Le Glow tint, and to my Shiseido Synchro Skin Self-Refreshing Skin Tint, among others. And I've been putting one side with the Makeup Forever and one side with the other ones. And I'm not going to show you all those days, but I do have some thoughts. Now, this retails for $36. So it's kind of in the middle. It's not as low as a drugstore price point, but it's not as high as some of the other products that I've used. It does have fragrance, and it also has denatured alcohol. I think the denatured alcohol is its 9th ingredient. So this does have squalene in it. It has glycerin in it, which I love glycerin in my foundation products. My skincare too. It claims to be super hydrating. It also has hyaluronic acid, and I'll flip up the ingredients so you can see them. It says that this is best applied with your fingers. So the shade range is, like I said, very limited. So I have 01, which is described as for very fair to light skin with neutral undertones, which was about the best that I could get. So my little mirror that I usually keep right down here, I dropped it. and broke both sides of it, the magnified side and the regular side. So I guess that's 14 years of bad luck. I'm going to use the Sigma palette for my mirror, and we're going to go in on one side without a primer and on the other side with the new Patrick Star Luminizer primer. So this looks to be pretty fair, but it does meld with my skin pretty well, as I've been using it and know. It doesn't seem to oxidize. And it says that you can go from a light natural coverage that looks like your skin, you know, easy peasy out the door, and that you can build it up to a medium coverage. Well, I don't know that I've built it up to a medium coverage at any point, but you definitely can build it up. I'm going to build it up a little bit more. So it does have dimethicone in it, and it does have a lot of slip. Notice that it doesn't run, or it didn't run on my hand. So it has a little bit of consistency to it. I think it does a fair job of covering up my redness. It is a skin tint, and it doesn't give you complete coverage. I will say that it feels very hydrating. I think that a lot of times alcohol, denatured, being in your products is to help it have a certain consistency and to help it dry down on your skin like they want it to. I have not really had a foundation that had that in it that affected my skin too much. It depends on where it is in the ingredient list. This being number 9 is certainly better than like it being number 4. And the funny thing is that comparing it to, say, my Lisa Eldridge skin tint, which I like, and my Ilia skin tint, which I feel like this feels the most similar to, it is more hydrating. Now, one of the reasons that I didn't want to just give you a 2-day wear test is because I feel like when a foundation product has denatured alcohol in it, that even however it lasts during the day, like if I give you a check-in at noon and then I give you a check-in at the end of the day, that's not going to tell you how your skin is reacting to that denatured alcohol. I think it takes at least a week to know if at the end of that week your skin is still feeling hydrated or if your skin is starting to feel dehydrated. And I can tell you that over the course of the time I've been testing this, it has never felt dehydrated. It has just felt hydrated. So I have worn this every day for the last couple of weeks in some form or fashion, either over my entire face or next to side by side with one of those other skin tints. So One Size, Patrick Starr's brand, just released this B12 base thinner, which is a vitamin pearl serum, and I really like this as a primer. So this provides no coverage whatsoever, and it just has this pearl glow. It's kind of what I'd like the Lumi lotion to do, or even the Charlotte Tilbury, but those give a little bit of coverage, I find. This gives no coverage. It does not blur or mattify, but you could add this to a thick foundation. I've actually added it to my ABH and the new one that I like so much, and it has not changed the fact that it still blurs. It's just thinned it out a little bit. I really like this. The fact that it has the B12 in it and the skincare ingredients, I find that it is mildly hydrating. I don't find for my super uber dry skin that it's overly hydrating, but I would say that it's mildly hydrating, which is better than it not being hydrating at all. So I do still apply my hydrating skincare products, but I really like this, and I love the slight luminous glow that it gives you that's not over the top, that doesn't accentuate pores or texture. So I just wanted to work that into this video. So we don't really need it to thin this out, so I did not add it in with this, but I just used it under. So I don't know if you can see the difference. I'm in front of windows, in front of natural light. Okay, so I'm going to put this on the other side. Now you can put this on with a sponge, or you can put it on with a brush. I just don't find that you need to. You're going to get an even coverage with your fingers. I don't find that it leaves streaks because it has so much slip in it. Notice that I just put it underneath my eyes. It's thin enough that I don't feel like it provides any issue with layering a concealer under it. I like the feel of it. I feel like it actually makes a pretty good primer for your concealer or your corrector. Even though it has the denatured alcohol in it, I really feel like it's like a drink of water for my skin. It doesn't sink into any fine lines. It doesn't accentuate anything that I don't want it to accentuate. I am going to show you some outside footage from a day when it was windy outside. You're going to see my hair going up to Jesus, but this is what we have. So I am trying to show you what it looks like in the bright light and outside. But as you can see, it is very windy here. It's always windy on the water because there's nothing to break up the wind behind me. So often in my videos, when you're hearing that wind sound, this is why. Because this is what it's like out here 99% of the days. So we're going to do some still shots. But I think it looks great. So let's put some makeup on, and then we'll do some check-ins, even though I already know. So I feel like it does give me a little bit of radiance without giving me too much radiance. So obviously this side is going to have a little more because I put this as a base, as a primer, and this side has no primer. So I feel like it gives me a healthy glow to my skin without being too luminous. So when I compare it to the L'Oreal Lumi Le Glow Tint, this one is definitely more luminous, and this one will highlight texture just a little bit, although I really like this one too. This one I don't feel like highlights anything. I feel like it feels more hydrating than this one does. So let's go in underneath my eyes. I'm going to use the Sigma Spectrum Color Correcting Duo. We have light and medium. I actually received a PR package from Sigma. Thank you, Sigma, so much. I was so excited to get that with no requirements or obligation to post or to review anything. It was just a nice treat. So I do like their under eye correctors. There's a lot of slip. They're thin. They also don't crease or make you feel like you have added texture underneath your eyes. They did send me their concealer brush or their under eye brush, several of their brushes. I actually like to apply this with my finger, and I like to adjust the coverage. I think that looks good. I did not bring out a powder to set it, my bad. For eyeshadow, I was going to show you the new Moon Dust Urban Decay release. This is in the color Diamond Dog, and it is so pretty. You'll notice that my box is empty. I have tried it, and guess what? I don't know where it is. I know, I picked it up somewhere. It's beautiful. I just can't show you. So we're gonna go in with the new shade from Too Faced, one of the new shades. This is their Cloud Crush formula by Too Faced, which I do like these blushes. There's so many new blushes on the market. I do like a berry, so I thought we'd try this new berry shade. I'll have all the products that I've used today linked below. I'm gonna tap a little bit of this on my Sigma setting powder brush in F12, just because I like a small little brush for precise placement. Look how pretty this shade is. These are matte blushes, and I do feel like they have some blurring properties. So unlike the YSL blush, which everybody is hyping up, and of course the packaging for those is gorgeous, I feel like it accentuates my enlarged pores and my texture, and this blush does not. If anything, it blurs this texture that I have right here, especially. I'm going to fast forward you through some of the parts just so that this isn't too long. We're going to take a bronzer by Sigma. This is the matte bronzer by Sigma in light. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to dust this kind of where the sun would naturally hit. I like to do my bronzer at the top as opposed to at the bottom of my cheek, because this is where the sun is going to hit. When I would get freckles, this is where I get a sprinkling of freckles, where the sun was hitting the most. Isn't that a pretty shade? So these don't drag. Then they came out with these plumping oils. So you know they have the plumping glosses, and that's been one of their biggest hits since I've known about City Beauty. This is new. This is their plumping oil by City Lips. I have two shades. I have the shade Pink Champagne, and then I have this Sangria. When you put these on, I don't feel any stinging. I don't feel anything. I don't feel any feeling. It's got hyaluronic acid in it. It's super hydrating. Super glossy, but I don't know how plumping it is. I think that the plumping is coming in from the hyaluronic acid and it's drawing moisture into the lips, but there is no uncomfortable feeling. I don't notice a taste, like no mintiness. I don't feel a tingle. If there's a tingle, I don't feel it at all. I think it just hydrates your lips and draws moisture in, and that's how it plumps, if I'm not mistaken. So very pretty. So I'm going to take the Sigma palette. This is the new Mod eyeshadow palette. The pretty case, the pretty mirror, comes with this nice dual-sided brush, and I'm just going to put a light look on my eyes. I'm going to take the color Sophisticated. I'm just going to do it as a transition shade. My eyes are prepped with the Makeup by Mario set and prep and set kit that I always use. So I was going to use this as a transition, but I kind of went all over my lid, like a one and done shadow with this. These shadows blend really easy. They're not patchy. These are beautiful spring shades. So I'm going to go in with this shade right here. I love having a shade like this in a palette. It's such a great blending shade, or underbrow or inner corner shade. What's everybody thinking about the cost of things these days? Everything seems like it's rising. We have the threat of tariffs making some products even higher. Are you guys still interested in those mid-range price points or luxury price points? Or are you more interested these days in a drugstore price point? If you'd like to see more drugstore products and what's new at the drugstore, what are my favorite affordable brands, let me know. I'd be happy to kind of switch my content to more affordable things. I know even for me as a content creator that's small and I don't get a lot of PR, I pay for most of my things myself. In fact, I just did my taxes. Well, I didn't do my taxes yet. I just got everything together for my taxes, and oh my gosh, I couldn't even believe what I spent on makeup or products to review last year. It was unbelievable. And more than I'd ever use in a lifetime. So you know I gift my products. I don't always have them to compare. I'm pretty good at remembering how things were, but after I use them, I only keep a few things, like what I'm going to use, and the rest I gift away. This is the color Hot. Just gonna blend that out. You can hear my purple martins chirping outside. It's one of the pleasures of spring for me. They came early this year. So I'm gonna take my favorite doll Tint eyeliner in bronze. I don't know what it is about these eyeliners. I just feel like you can't mess them up. I think it's the amount of waxiness versus creaminess in the formula. I can do it with one hand. I can do it without holding my eyes. And very rarely do I have to do anything with these. I like Tint's palettes as well. And I did notice that you can get some, I believe some of their products are sold on Amazon, but not everything. Not these eyeliners. Smudge this just a little bit. Okay, so now we're going to use this newer mascara. I told you in my faves and fails video that this new Benefit Bounce mascara was, you know, it was okay. And I talked about the size compared to my regular mascara size. Well, this is a mini. I didn't realize I had ordered a mini, so no wonder it looks small. So they do have a bigger one. Sometimes I just don't know about myself. So I was saying, you know, the size for the price. Well, I didn't pay that much for it because it was a mini. It's got kind of a plastic fat wand. Now, I do have the new Lancome mascara. And guess what? Like the new Urban Decay eyeshadow, I don't know where I put it. I think I brought that one with me to touch up when I was going someplace in my car, and I think that I left it in my drink holder in my car, which my husband took to work, but I'm not sure. So there's nothing wrong with this. If you look at these lashes to these lashes, with really just one coat, I mean, it's nice. But I've been spoiled by some other products. So that new Gucci mascara, the House Labs mascara, especially the Gucci mascara, the Le Magnetisme, oh my gosh. That wand just catches every single little lash, and you don't have to build it up hardly at all, and you just have these va-va-va-voom lashes. This is not too wet, it's not too dry, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just okay. I just don't think it offers anything more than a drugstore product. I love that the Sigma Under Eye Corrector can also serve me as a concealer. I like to do the two-in-one thing. Give me a little peach, a little brightening, a little concealing, a little correcting. While I'm sure this is meant to have a concealer layered on top of it, I don't feel like I need one. So I'm going to take you outside to see the foundation, and then we'll do a couple of check-ins. Okay, so I took you outside. You can see those pictures. That's what it looked like at 4.5 hours. So we're 4.5 hours in. I'm back inside. And I just think that this holds up nicely. Now you know that I've been testing it, so I already know how this foundation performs. It's not settling anywhere. It still feels hydrating to the touch. It does set, but I find that it stays moisturizing feeling or hydrating feeling. It still feels smooth, almost like skincare, like a serum, slightly on your face, but it doesn't feel heavy, because I know that sounds bad. Now, it has broken up a little bit around my nose at this 4-hour mark, but I've been blowing my nose today a lot, and sometimes that happens, especially with something like a skin tint. But I don't think that the coverage lasting with this is bad. I don't feel like I need a primer that's going to extend coverage. I've had it last, you know, all day until I'm ready to take my makeup off at night, which is usually 10, 11, 12 hours, sometimes even longer. And you know, I've never found it breaking up anywhere other than here, and sometimes a little bit around my mouth, depending on what I've eaten or drink. So the only thing that I've touched up since I put this on is my lips. And I think that this is definitely a winner. I would say that medium coverage is pushing it. To say that it gives medium coverage is pushing it just a little bit. I think you can get light medium coverage. Okay, here we are at the end of the day with my final thoughts. So after 2 weeks of testing this foundation, skin tint, I really love it. I think that it's very flattering on mature, fine lines, not so fine lined skin. I think it gives me a light medium coverage. And I think that you can see it has worn away a little bit around my nose, but I've been blowing my nose all day due to my allergies. If you watch my channel, you know that I have those. And It wore away a little bit around my mouth on some days. Not so much today because I haven't really had time to eat and drink. It's been one of those days. This is the side with the one size B12 base thinner. I think this glow and this combination, it is beautiful. It is so beautiful. Without it, beautiful. I think that I'm going to love this product. I'm probably going to be using this product as a primer. So my thoughts on this are that it is beautiful. It gives you no coverage. It gives you no additional texture. It just gives you this beautiful pearlescent glow and some slight hydration. And it looks beautiful to me under any foundation. So I love the skin tint, and I think that it has moisturized my skin. It has actually given me more hydration than I would have without it, and I think that it lasts all day. I think that it stays looking pretty. I think that it looks pretty in the bright light. I think that it looks pretty inside. I think that it is flattering on mature skin, because if your skin is dry like mine, it's going to give you that added hydration. I think that if you have combo or oily skin, you'd probably need to powder it. For me, I don't need to powder it. It just looks pretty on its own, and I don't really want to powder down any of the radiance. I think just adding a little bit of powder, like the bronzer and the blush, mattified it a little bit, and I love the finish. There's no settling. There's no ugly emphasizing of any of my imperfections. It doesn't get rid of them. It never does. But it definitely doesn't emphasize them. I love the little glow. I think the little glow is pretty. It's the perfect amount of glow. This side's giving me a little more because I use this product, but even without it, I would say like a radiant natural finish. Not too luminous, but definitely not matte. The hydration is wonderful. I feel like it actually does plump my cheeks just a little bit because of the hyaluronic acid in it. So I think it's one time where skincare meeting a foundation product actually does feel like you have some skincare that's actually working. Most of the time I don't appreciate the skincare in my foundation or my makeup product, but in this case I actually do. So I'm definitely giving it 2 thumbs up. Definitely going to enjoy it. I feel like it's an easy out the door makeup product. You can just literally take it on your fingers and apply it all over your face, and you're done. And your complexion is evened out. And if you have mature skin like I do, you don't have to worry about it emphasizing anything that you don't want to. If your skin is dry, it's going to help you feel more moisturized. So that's what I have for you today. As far as the other products, I am really enjoying the City Beauty lip oil, the plumping lip oil. I don't know how enhanced my lips look as far as plumping, but they feel super hydrated, and I love the lip liners and the combo. It's really nice, and I'm enjoying all of the products that I showed you today. I just think that this Bounce Benefit Mascara is just okay. Nothing to write home about. I will see you in the next video. Bye.